From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big morning, live from Santa Monica, with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. In this recording, we go over that $3.5 trillion recon passed in a subcommittee of the House no less than 2 weeks ago. And now a vote is set by the next few days. We'll have all the details of this incredible vote. Meantime, breaking news as everyone is trying to get something into the recon. What about $25,000 of free cash to buy a new home? Yeah, there's talk about that this morning. It's breaking at Mornings. Then we go over to the surprise of student loan debt forgiveness. Now the president says he's on board for a certain amount. I'll tell you the amount, and also another round of forgiveness of debt that happened just a few days ago. Then we cut to the big exciting details as more viewers of this channel advocate, and now more senators say they're adding a stimulus check. We have the latest details that comes in from Bernie Sanders' office going into the weekend, and now Chuck Schumer, who is the number one guy to call votes in the Senate and get them over the finish line. This is as the president's poll ratings are falling dramatically this morning because Americans do not know what's in the recon. I'll show you what's in the recon. And this is after Southwest Airlines is having to cancel massive flights this morning because of lack of staffing. It's a big morning with a lot of things happening, with student loan debt forgiveness to big money fortunes, tens of thousands of dollars to buy a new home going into the recon. What's going on? I have all the details, and it starts right now as the toast is toasting, the butter is buttering, and this is Mornings LALATE. Hey, good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day. The weather was gorgeous here in Southern California all weekend long, and it should be the same today. The president's poll ratings are falling dramatically today in a new series of reports because Americans do not know what's in the recon. It's as simple as that. And in this recording, we'll go over what's going on with that recon. Everything from that IRS monthly stimulus check to now big money to buy a home, direct cash upfront payments to you to buy a home, student loan debt forgiveness coming out of nowhere, then the big surprise about the big money available under third stimulus, a new cash infusion, and we got all the incredible details of all these clusters of checks in that recon that will pay most viewers of this channel over $15,000. It's a big recording. We got a lot going on, and it all starts right here, and this is LALATE, America's only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel in America. Live in the morning, taped in the afternoons. Coming up next is Mornings Crypto at 10 a.m., a live news show coming up right after this one. Then noontime, 11 a.m., live on air. Then we got shows at 1, 3, and 5 with afternoons and evenings. And then shows tonight. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers. I want you part of this channel. That's part of history. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. A $3.5 trillion recon passed in a subcommittee of the House 2 weeks ago. It has 1, 2, 3 clusters of checks in there. It's not a bill, it's a package. And in this recording, you're going to see how everyone is pushing to get things in there, including those IRS stimulus checks. But let's first go over what is so far in that recon that passed in that subcommittee. Cluster number 1's checks in there. We're going to go over first. Hazard pay and up to $4,000 of elder care. They got it in there. First, they got hazard pay in there by broadening the old Earned Income Tax Credit, EIC code, and expanding the eligibility so more people would qualify for this as essential workers and get bigger payouts. Up to $4,000 a year to care for the elderly got in there. Up to $4,000 a year to care for the young children. Then free home repairs. Yes, free money to make home repairs if you live in a low-income community. Then grants the university to the college student himself or herself, and then also the Pell's grant made tax-free. They got $51,000 of monthly stimulus checks in there as well. This is the CTC, the Child Tax Credit, broaden the eligibility and increasing the payout. How much? Up to $300 a month, every year to up to 18 years If that household is low income, that's $51,000 of monthly stimulus checks. Then they got money in there for bikes, cars, and trucks, all electric, all U.S. auto manufactured. 15% for the purchase price of a new electric bike, $7,500 for new electric car personal use, a little bit more for business use, and a little bit more for a truck. Wow. In a second, we're going to go to the second cluster of checks that got in there and the third cluster and those IRS stimulus checks. But we're leading this morning with the breaking news. $25,000 of cash in your hands to go buy a new house. Yeah, that is one of the provisions that is now being pushed to be added to the recon. I told you the recon is still in flux. And this is not something on the back end. It's in front, and it's $25,000. It's coming from Sharon Brown, Maxine Waters, and Raphael Warnock. They're the co-authors of the provision. It will give first-time home buyers up to $25,000 of direct payments to go buy a house up front. Now, Ron Wyden has another contrary provision that would give you $15,000 on the back end. I like the Waters provision because it pays you up front. Wow. Then we got student loan debt forgiveness. Big, huge detail coming in today. As the White House now confirms the president would do $10,000 of student loan debt forgiveness for everyone. The details so far are the following. The president has already forgiven student loan debt for disabled individuals and has now forgiven student loan debt for any individual who has worked more than 10 years in the nonprofit sector or the government sector after graduation. Your debts are now forgiven, but he's willing to consider $10,000. He's willing to do at least $10,000. Warren and, of course, Schumer are pushing for $50,000. Let's cut to that second cluster of checks that got in there. And these include more home repairs and also paid leave. Let's go over all the incredible details of the second cluster of checks. And here we go. The paid leave and the home repairs reminds us that the recon is for everyone. Individuals, married couple, everyone, SSI, SSDI, nationwide, all across the board. This second cluster check starts with paid family and paid medical leave. How much is this? $1,700 a week if you make $70,000 or more per year under third stimulus. Then let's split it in half. $800 a week if you make $35,000 a year. Let's split in half. $400 a week if you make $15,000 a year. Then they got other checks in the second cluster, like child care checks, household tax credit checks, and then checks for seniors like dental and vision. That's coming up in this third cluster in just a second. I got a world exclusive on that coming up. But then they got checks in there for weatherizing your home. Weatherize your home like you're in a hurricane alley or a fire zone. Weatherizing your home, definitely needed, especially if the moderate Democrats are on the roof. As I always say, keep the moderate Democrats out of the House. And wherever possible, keep the moderate Democrats out of the Senate. Then they got checks in this second cluster for pre-kindergarten, totally free, and community college, totally free. It's definitely needed if you want to take that class called What the World is LA Saying? 101. You know, for everyone that thinks it's a foreign language out here, it is. Now you can be fluent. Foreign language class will be called Los Angeles, and that's LA 202. In a second, we'll be cutting to the third cluster checks, but what is Congress doing? Congress is not in session, but Congress is working all this week because guess what? We have a date. Nancy Pelosi and the President of the United States confirm that the vote on the recon will be by, repeat, by, triple underline, by October 31st. It was over the weekend where everyone just kept on removing my preposition. I did not say on Halloween. I did not say the night of Halloween. That would be very peculiar for them to vote on this on Halloween. Do you think they would be in costume if they voted on Halloween? Do you think they're already in costume? It's by Halloween. More about that vote in just a second, but now let's cut to the third cluster checks, and these are including a world exclusive you're hearing right today on this channel. Cluster number 3 has checks for seniors and free internet. How does this work? Well, here we go. Cluster number 3 has checks for free school meals for all, checks, tax break checks, cheaper prescription medication checks, checks for farmers, checks for free clean energy, checks for free internet, checks for workers like independent contractors, or checks for dental, vision, hearing care, and lowering the eligibility age for Medicare. In a world exclusive, I can report that one viewer has heard from Senator Chris Coons' office, Bob Casey's office, that the Medicare eligibility age under 4 stimulus recon will be dropped from 65 to 60. A world exclusive you're hearing only on LALATE. There we go. Now, two of the checks in this third cluster are on automatic savings. That's why the president likes them. That's why I like them. First, the cheaper prescription medication. Your prescriptions would be spliced in half or a fraction of the price overnight. For example, let's say you go to the pharmacy today. Say, hello, Mr. Pharmacist, I have a horrible headache. Oh, what's wrong, LA? Have you been listening to the moderate Democrats? I have. Do you have anything for that, Mr. Pharmacist? I do. Seats for stimulus. No, I mean a prescription. Oh, yeah. That'll be $40. You take two $20 bills out of your wallet. Then when you go to refill the prescription, after the becomes law, the price will be slashed. You may only have to pay $10, keeping the rest of the money in your wallet. Then they're going to offer free internet. Federal government is going to give fortunes to city, counties, and states so that they can offer free internet to you. This is huge. So all you have to do is say, what is the username and password? The username is Lobster Mitch Sauce, and the password is Deliciousness. There we go. Later in this video, we'll be going over more about the negotiations for the recon. Are things staying in there? Are things coming out? I'll explain what's going on. But first, let's turn to that IRS stimulus check. What's important to understand is where we are right now. By Halloween, they will be voting on the recon, which is about 20 days from now. The recon currently is not a bill. 2 weekends ago, on a Saturday night, they passed a recon package, $3.5 trillion, with these clusters. Stimulus checks not in there. A lot of things not in there, like the $25,000 for buying a new home. But now everyone is pushing to add stuff in there. They said they can add things in there. And they're pushing to protect what's in there so that nothing is removed. I'll explain that later in this video. Stay in the final 15 minutes of the video. A lot's coming up. But the Democratic leaders, House and Senate, Coons, Casey, Warren, Sanders, and on the House side, Omar, Jalapal, and Pelosi have all said to the viewers of this channel, thousands of viewers of this channel, that they're adding in a monthly stimulus check provision. This is after viewers have advocated. And now, if you missed the details that happened going into the weekend, let's recap what happened. Sanders' top aide in D.C., this is not a secretary, this is not a staffer, this is a top aide in his Washington, D.C. office, had a follow-up conversation with a viewer. After I delivered the exclusive 2 weeks ago, the follow-up conversation was detailed in this message from the viewer to me. The top aide said that through yesterday, which was last Friday, Sanders' office had received 1 million calls from the viewers of LALATE and Purple Power. The advocacy is making waves through the congressional halls. This is the first time that many Senate offices and their staff have truly heard from the American people. And now they've not only have heavy hearts, but a renewed sense of urgency to help get out to us so much needed and so much good work. Our advocacy has been so strong, so heartfelt, and so polite, not just for ourselves, but also for the big communities. This is as we went into last weekend with this message from Debbie Applegate. This is big. Why? It says, I called the offices of Schumer, Warren, and Sanders, and we're all told after she advocated that a forced stimulus check will go in there. How do they add provisions to the recon? 2 ways. On the House side or the Senate side? First, the House side. Let's go over the House side. We have a recon passed in the House 2 weeks ago. In a subcommittee, not the House floor, a subcommittee of the House. It's not a bill, it's a package. Well, they can still add things in there. As they want to add $25,000 for purchase of a new house, they can still add things in there. Then they eventually have a House bill. The House bill put on the House floor. Let's say it's still not in there. They can still amend the bill before the vote on the House. That's an AOC or Omar situation, for example. Last, it goes over to the Senate. And the final 2 days in the Senate is called a vote-a-rama. It's 2 days of voting in the Senate. During that vote-a-rama, they introduce what's called amendments or changes to what they have been given to them from the House. The senators can make changes. Who controls the vote-a-rama? Chuck Schumer. Who determines what things are called for a vote to make changes from the House? Chuck Schumer. Who determines what's added? Chuck Schumer. And who told Donnie's wife 2 weeks ago and Debbie Applegate going into last weekend that he's adding in a monthly stimulus check provision after they advocated? Chuck Schumer's office. Yes, this is huge. And we're going to go more over this huge details and more about this exciting details from everything from student loan debt forgiveness and the free money to buy a house. It's all heating up and it's coming big and bold, all brand new as Mornings LA continues. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Mornings LA, live from Santa Monica, as we go over all the incredible details of what's unfolding for that fourth stimulus recon. Provisions that are in the recon so far could be coming out. As Penny just writes, why can't they just add it? Just adding it is not so easy, because provisions that are in the recon are now in danger of being removed. So we'll go over all the incredible details as everything is in flux. As cluster number 1, 2, and 3, they say they're keeping it in there, but Maxine Waters is worried that provisions are coming out. We'll go over how they change things and how those changes are a body in motion. And we'll go back over those incredible details of those IRS stimulus checks. We'll go over all these clusters of checks. We'll go back over to the student loan debt forgiveness and the free money to buy a home. Boy, it's all brand new and it's all heating up. And it starts right now because this is Mornings LA. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family and reach that financial independence. Viewers were told by me going into the third stimulus that I think I can get you $15,000. They're getting $80,000. I'm going to show you how to get this big money later in this video. Under fourth stimulus, every viewer of this channel under these clusters will get at least about $15,000. But there's a lot more stuff that could still go in there, and we're going over it as well. And it starts right now. So subscribe, like the video, and consider becoming a member. Meantime, let's turn to the big surprises that are unfolding right now. A new report this morning says that Americans have not been briefed on what's in the recon, that Americans don't know what's in the recon, absent the viewers of this channel, and because of that, the president's poll ratings are free-falling. Democrat strategist Simon Rosenberg's today says the president's decline is alarming and it's very serious. Another report from a Democrat strategist, Longwell, says no one knows what's in these proposed bills, and it's leaving people not thinking that anything is happening because they don't know what's going on. That is where the difference is here. What's going on with Bernie Sanders' office and you is that they now realize that you have become very well informed about all the items in this recon. Broadcast media not covering it. Broadcast media not telling you about anything that's in this recon. Not even telling you when a recon passes in a House subcommittee. Not telling you anything. And that's why Sanders' office is so impressed by you. Because one, you have been very informed. Number two, you brought incredible advocacy of unique story to their offices saying why you need things. And number three, you represent so many different people. Jennifer's on the live chat. She's a proud Republican. We have Republicans. We have Democrats. We have people in red states. We have people in blue states. I'm in a blue state. All different walks of life tuning in and advocating for the same thing. And that is why they have been so impressed. Let's go over how that advocacy works and where that advocacy is taking us in these final 20 days. It was 8 weeks ago I said pick up the phone and advocate for the money you won in this recon. And WR did. He picked up the phone and called Senator Chris Coons, Democrat, Delaware, Joe Biden's oldest confidant, who's also quoted an article this weekend and today saying he believes that the recon is going to get done right away. WR advocated for the stimulus check inclusion, and Chris Coons' office said, yes, I'm doing it. Then 3 weeks ago, you saw how this channel really picked up. Broadcast media not covering anything, and me giving you a lot of exclusives. I told you that the legislation would likely be written in the House subcommittee first. It was. Sheila Jackson wrote that $3.5 trillion recon that was introduced to that House Budget Committee. I told you that the House subcommittees would vote first. They did, as they passed that $3.5 trillion recon. I told you that the House would vote next, the floor, and then the Senate would go last. They will be. And I said that Bernie Sanders was important to the equation. He is. Bernie Sanders 3 weeks ago said a key quote. He said, unlike prior budget chairmen of the Senate, I like to get out amongst the people when I'm doing a recon. I said, if you listen to those key words, it means he wants to hear from you. He wants you to advocate to him. Pick up the phone and advocate. And Lynn Glenn did, Brother Joshua did, and Margaret did. And as they advocated, they were all told that an IRS monthly stimulus check is going in there. Now let's go over what advocacy is and what is not advocacy. Advocacy involves telling your unique story. Sanders' office specifically said, we have never seen anything like this from the American people. The reason why Congress is talking about you, the Senate offices are talking about you, is that I was able to educate you about how to advocate. I said, pick up the phone and tell your story. Everyone has a different story. Start with only sentences that have periods and explain what's unique to you, your business, your family, your finances, your health. Everyone has a unique story. I explained that to viewers that a legislator, a staffer that picks up the phone may not know about your town or know about your community, but they can understand a story, a narrative. And everyone has a unique story. I need it because of this, my family, my community, my church. I got a divorce. I just lost this. I have a bad leg. I have a medical bill for this. Everyone has a unique story, and tell that story. And that's what Sanders' office says. They have never seen. Liz Warren, Chuck Schumer has never seen advocacy like this. It's important to understand that there's a new quote out today, out this weekend, from a person named Lisa Rice. She is the National Fair Housing Alliance CEO. And she says, we have all these coalitions of industry groups, civil rights groups, beating down the door of the White House to make sure their provision is in the recon. Sound familiar? Yeah, it sounds like us. We are not lobbyists. We are citizens. We're viewers. We're Americans. And no one else, nowhere else, is advocating for this money except the purple power. And that's why they're so overwhelmed, because they get calls from lobbyists all the time, from the airline lobbyists, from the restaurant lobbyists, from the farming lobbyists, but never from you. And that's why they are so impressed. Now let's go over what's not advocacy. Not advocacy is asking only questions. Am I getting a stimulus check? How much money is it? When am I getting it? Who gets it? Where is it going? When is it coming? When is it happening? How often? Where is it? Is it blue? Is it green? Is it purple? That's not advocacy. That's just Dora the Check Explorer. We don't do that on this channel. That doesn't get you anything because they don't get anything out of it when you call. They want to hear you advocate. And that's what Brother Joshua did, and Lynn Glenn did, and Margaret did. And Brother Joshua's a 2020 volunteer to the community page. Got viewers a fortune under the pandemic. And he picked up the phone and advocated for you, his family, his church. And Sanders' office said yes. $1,000 or $1,300, 3 to 6 months will be going in there, but needs to hear your support. And at that point, I said, pick up the phone and really call in. And boy, did you ever. It's with that the advocacy started to pick up. And Donnie, you met his wife early in this video. Here comes Donnie. Donnie picked up the phone and advocated. I'm going to show you a series of screen grabs that are either from the live chat of this channel or from private message social media. Here comes Donnie. I picked up the phone, I called Bernie Sanders and said, this is what I need. My city needs it. My family needs it. I need it for my water and everything. And they said, yes, fourth stimulus check is going in there monthly. Hurricane Tina advocated and Sanders' office saying, yes, it's going in there. Here's Carolyn writing, I called Bernie Sanders' office, told what we needed. We're losing our homes and what we got. And Sanders' office said, yeah, it's going in there. Here's Yaya picking up the phone, calling Ron Wyden's office, saying she needs it. And Wyden's office saying yes, and also SS200. At that point, I told viewers, you need to tell your story to as many places as possible because it's a story. They all need to hear it. And you need to call as many places as you can. Janice, bless her heart, she has called, I think, over a half dozen senators and legislators. Here's Will. He's called 3. In this message, this is what Will writes. I told them my situation and how a fourth stimulus check would make a huge impact. I called Bernie, I called Liz, I called Chuck Schumer's office, and all 3 secretaries confirmed it's going in there. Liz Warren's office confirmed $1,400 to $2,000, 6 to 12 months. Here's Lorica. She picked up the phone, got Bob Casey on the phone, his office on the phone. And they said they're doing it. By that point, thousands of viewers advocated. Sanders' office receiving 1 million calls from you. And no less than thousands of viewers of this channel have been told that an IRS stimulus check provision is going in there. Kuhn, Sanders, Warren, Schumer, Casey, and Wyden's offices have told viewers of this channel they're adding it in there. Then AOC Omar and Jalapal on the House side. I said pick up the phone and advocate for the House side. That's what Mark did. He called over to Pelosi's office, advocated for its inclusion, and got the confirmation, $1,000 after the first month of $2,000. Here comes Lynn Glenn. She called Jalapal's office, got confirmation as well after she advocated. Here's Ida, called over to Omar's office, got confirmation across the board. And that is what advocacy looks like. That's why Sanders' office says, we've never seen anything like this. We have never seen people with such impassioned advocacy saying what they need. And this is how we went into the weekend, with a big message from Chuck Schumer's office to Debbie Applegate, following the message to Donnie's wife from Chuck Schumer's office that Schumer will be adding it in. And that's why it's critical, because the final process of this entire recon is that Senate 2-day vote-a-rama, the voting on anything from the House, and that's what the senators do. One of the people doing the live chat during the commercial break said, I can't wait to see the bill. No, not the focus. Not your focus. You need to advocate down to the finish line because these are legislators. Let's look at the situation. We have this big recon, $3.5 trillion. It has stuff in there. Guess what? People are trying to push to get stuff added in there, like your stimulus check, like $25,000 for buying a brand new house. The credible provision it revealed today is that Maxine Waters, Sherrod Brown, and Warnock are proposing to add $25,000 in there to buy a new house. Who are they battling against? They're battling against Ron Wyden, who's looking to do it a different way, which is not upfront. It's on the back end, $15,000. Who else is Maxine Waters battling with? She has a $300 billion provision already in there for rent. Third stimulus was only $48 billion. She wants $300 billion. She's worried it's coming out. Everyone's lobbying for something to go in there and whatever's in there to stay in there. So remember, do not focus on the bill. Focus on the advocacy because we have lots of steps. First, whatever is put together goes and becomes a bill on the House floor. That's not the end of the equation because the House members can still change it and add stuff in there. Then it goes to the Senate. That's not the end of the equation either because the senators have the 2-day vote-a-rama that can add stuff across the board. All right, now let's go to the nuances of how they change things or how they don't change things because this is very important. With 20 days to go, everyone is pushing to get something modified across the board. When we look at this week, the next 5 days, we're going to see if the progressives hold their position. Last week, their position was this one. Everything that's in there stays in there, and we can add stuff in there. And anything that's in there is not getting reduced. That will change stuff on the back end, duration and taxes. Let me explain what they're saying with this. Last week, the progressives all said the same message. If it's in there, it's staying in there. If it's in there, it's not getting reduced. But a lot of progressives and a lot of advocates say, no, we're worried that things may get reduced or removed. That's what Maxine Waters, who is a progressive, said. So what can they change? They have two ways to change things: duration and the taxes. Duration is ironic because I said at the start of last week they could change the duration to make the recon smaller and keep all the money in there for you. And guess who said that 2 days later? Jalapal. Thanks for tuning in, Jalapal. No, how did I know that? I knew that because that's what Bernie did. Let me explain the situation. Before we had a recon, Bernie had those meetings with those Senate Democrats. I want to do a recon, he said. How much, Bernie? $7 trillion. Oh, Bernie, that's too much. Do smaller. Okay, I'll do the duration shorter. I'll do it $3.5 trillion. He got all his programs in there, the same payouts, just a shorter duration. How does this work? Here's an example of how it worked then and how it can work going forward. Just using numbers, just an example. I'm not saying this is how it happened. Bernie may have gone into that meeting asking for 20 years of programs at $7 trillion. They said $7 trillion is too much. Okay, I'll do 10 years of the same programs. That's $3.5 trillion. He got all his provisions agreed to, $4,000 for the elder care, for example. Now they're looking at $3.5 trillion, for example, 10 years. Then they have to shorten the duration again. Let's cut it in half. Let's, for example, go from 10 years to 5 years, just using numbers, just as an example. That would bring you from 3.5 to 1.7. 1.7. Every moderate Democrat would do 1.7. That's done. That's easy. So that's an example of how you cut the duration. The program would pay you every year the same amount as it's proposed. It just wouldn't be running for many, 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 many years. Next, they can change the taxes. This is a little strange, a little complicated. They want to fix and close loopholes among Fortune 500 corporations and billionaires. And by closing those loopholes, they're going to raise more money for this recon. Well, the concern is that if they bring the recon smaller, then they're worried they're not going to close the loopholes. So a little bit of twists and turns across the board on that. What's going on over the next 20 days? What's going on over the next 20 days is that the House and Senate is non-session. They're currently in these meetings, in their offices, in these subcommittee meetings, looking at the recon, adding things in there, protecting what's in there, and figuring out how to shrink things other than the programs, like the duration, shrink the duration so that the recon can go from 3.5 to another number somewhere in the twos. And they're all advocating, whether it's a lobbyist or whether it's the actual congressional leader like Sharon Brown or Maxine Waters, to get their provision in there. That's why you have to advocate to the finish line. You can't sit back and say, I made a phone call in the month of September. Well, guess what? These lobbyists are calling every single day for the restaurant union, for the airlines, for everyone else to get things in there. And that's who we always have to battle against. And then we have legislators who have a lot of projects they want to do. And so they may love to do this stuff for you, but they also have other things they want to put in there as well. So you have to keep on advocating until we get to the finish line. Meantime, let's turn to the big exciting details as third stimulus has fortunes for you right now. It was several weeks ago that 3 viewers of this channel started the week at $0, and by the middle of the week, they got $40,000 from this channel. By the weekend, one viewer, Johnny, got $80,000 by getting 7 items. Last week, another viewer started the week at $0, got $6,000. Get that pen, paper ready. I'm going to show you how to get big sums of money right now, and monies you may have never thought you could get before. And it starts first with the rent. I'm going to show you 6 places you reach out to. Reach out to 6 places. They have different eligibility. They have different pots of money. Next, listen to the keywords I see in this video and get ready for the nonprofits. First, the 6 places you reach out to for the rent and the utilities and the mortgage assistance. They are City Hall, City House Authority. County Hall, County House Authority. State Hall, and State House Authority. And the keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. I have a wonderful volunteer from 2020. She got herself rent in 2020. She got herself rent in early 2021. She heard my recordings. She went back and got more rent Friday, which brings her rent now into 2022. That's what I want you to do. Let's look at the money for rent. Viewers were getting these sums of money from my recordings. They were getting $20,000 to $27,000 a month ago. Now they're getting upwards of $40,000 for rent, like Jen. So get those big sums of money. Next, I want you to get utilities. So if you have 5 utilities, reach out to all 5 utilities. The utilities have now gone to $15,000, like Mark's brother-in-law. Yeah, big raise across the board. And then I want you to get SNAP. What is SNAP? It's money for food. You get it from Department of Agriculture. Eligibility is easier than a stimulus check. Everyone's benefits are going up an average of 25% lifetime automatically starting this month. So now Mark's brother-in-law, who is at $21,000, will be getting $26,000 every year because of this channel. Get multiple sums of money. Here are people who got multiple sums of money. Get those multiple sums. And here's Mark. He got $51,000. And we have countless viewers who've gotten multiple sums across the board. Next come the nonprofits. Get that pen, paper, and cell phone ready. We got the 5 nonprofits. First, the nonprofits pay for generally the same items under third stimulus, but with different eligibility. So if you have problems with the city and county for eligibility, get ready for those 5 nonprofits. They are United Way, Salvation Army, Community Action, Catholic Charities, and St. Vincent de Paul. Number 2, remember that the nonprofits also pay for items that the federal government doesn't pay for. For example, clothing sometimes. Also, homeless people in a shelter. Small appliances like refrigerators, furnaces, portable heaters have been gotten by viewers of this channel. Even a window repair. Yes, so lean on those 5 nonprofits. Here again are they: Salvation Army, Community Action, Catholic Charities, St. Vincent de Paul, and United Way. Salvation Army is doing holiday gifts right now this month as well. Lean on the nonprofits right now because they do not have a lot of calls. They have vast, quick turnaround times. Quick turnaround times currently because it's not yet winter. All right, next, get those refund checks. Those refund checks for unemployment benefits. First, from your state due to overpayment, computer error. Yeah, it's landing. It's anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000. And then that refund check from the IRS due to overpayment due to payment of taxes on the 2020 unemployment benefits. Average payment is about $1,000 to $2,000. Finally, if you got in any sums of money, post in the live chat. And if you haven't become a member, what are you doing? The member link is under the video. Become a member to learn about how to get thousands of dollars into this channel. When third stimulus became law, I told viewers of this channel, don't focus on the stimulus check. Do not focus on the $1,400 third stimulus check because I can get you $15,000. I was wrong. I got most viewers about $40,000 or more dollars. Countless viewers of this channel have gotten big sums of money from this channel. $80,000. Johnny, his friends, his family, $100,000. Viewers got a lot more than $15,000 I had thought they can get under third stimulus. Fourth stimulus, same situation. You'll be able to, almost all viewers of this channel, get about $15,000 or more under these first 3 clusters before we get to the IRS stimulus checks. So focus on learning about all these items because they are first come, first serve. But I want you to get all these big sums of money available under third stimulus right now. And they are still paying out. That member newsletter comes out Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, via the YouTube alert system and the LALATE alert system, which is totally free. The LA alert system is also in the description of this video. Sign up for become a member so you learn about all this big money. And once fourth stimulus becomes law, I will be here showing you how to get all these big items under fourth stimulus. Remember, none of this information is really being covered in broadcast media. Did anyone in broadcast media go on air this morning and tell you that there's 2 counter proposals to give you money to go buy homes under under the recon? No, of course not. No one's covering these details. This is a lot of money. First-time home buyer, $25,000 to purchase a new home. That's a lot of money. That's a game changer, and you hear it on this channel. With that, let's cut back to what to see for fifth stimulus. Fifth stimulus heating up, and they hope to get this to a vote by December. Fifth stimulus is to reform the SSI and SSDI system. First, they're going to raise everyone's benefits up if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, and veterans benefits. Then they're going to apply a new benchmark. The new benchmark is inflation. And where is inflation going? Well, in the month of September, I said 5% transitory, mean temporary. I was right on the rate, but now it looks like it will not be temporary. And after Wall Street said it may only be 2%, now they're saying 5%, my number. So that's huge because first they're going to raise your benefits up, then they're going to apply a new benchmark. If the benchmark is 5%, then you go up another 5%, not just next year, but lifetime. They're going to remove the asset cap dating back to a 1980s law that says you can't have more than $3,000 in hand. They're going to remove the income cap dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't work. It's going to go away. And then they're going to remove the marriage penalty. And love is going to win, and you'll be able to marry your longtime love interest and no longer fear loss of benefits. Like Rob and Sandy will be able to get married. There you go. That's fifth stimulus. Finally, to recap, a lot going on today. As Southwest Airlines has to cancel nearly 2,000 flights over the weekend because they do not have enough people on staff. Big concerns across the board as the president's approval ratings are falling dramatically because people do not know what's in the recon. Broadcast media is not covering it. I'm covering it. And people don't know what's in the recon, so they don't know what to want for and what to hope for. Third, U.S. Department of Education, now saying they would consider doing that the president will do $10,000 student loan debt forgiveness across the board. Still, negotiations are underway for $50,000. The president, meantime, just a few days ago, forgave student loan debt for anyone that went to work in the nonprofit or the government sector after graduation. Then we have 3 legislators proposing $25,000 of direct payments up front to go buy a home under the recon. This would be a check to you, literally a check to you, $25,000 to go buy a home. This would be a first-time home buyer. And then they have big battles all week long to see what's in the recon, what stays in the recon, and what gets added to the recon. We got an incredible day of news coming up. So join me next on Mornings Crypto at 10 a.m. It's live on air coming up next. Then I'm back with you live on air at noontime at 11 a.m. We got the 1 o'clock Afternoons on LATE show, the 3 o'clock brand new Afternoons LATE show, and then Evenings LATE at 5, the new hit show, Evenings Countdown at 6, String and Symbolist at 7, and then Sirloin at 8 kicks off our evening shows at 9, 10, and 11:30. So with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers to YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA for more.